Good afternoon, welcome back to Wonderland Asylum. Today we have issue 4 of the Hachette partworks release of Build the Titanic. So, in issue 4, as you can see, they've stopped now sending all the leaflets and everything. So, yeah, no more leaflets advertising subscriptions, and it now only tells you what's coming in the next issue, not the next two. So you can see there, we're actually getting the bottom of the starboard side of the hull. You can see that it's going to be fixed to the port side via these two screw holes, and I hope they're going to provide a pretty good way of covering those holes up, but we shall see. And again, loads more about the Titanic, different artist renderings of the disaster, etc. But the one thing that I think is pretty good is this picture here, which gives you a very nice kind of look at the front of the hull, which is incidentally the bit we're working on. It kind of shows you where the waterline was painted, where the anti-fouling paint was, and it shows you the nameplate as well. But that's not what we're here to do. We're not here to read, we're here to build. This one isn't going to take very long, and in fact I don't really need the instructions. There are only 2 pages of them, and I think I can probably get through it without them. But here is the parts. As you can see, another 2 hull sections, some screws, and the joining plate there as well. So I'll get these open and let's get started with the build. Okay, so here, as you can see, we have another piece of the anti-fouling red painted hull, and we also have the upper section. As you can see, again, the portholes haven't been drilled out in this one, because as far as I can tell from what I've seen from the prototype, the only bit that's lit is the midship area. I know some people have drilled those out, but if you look, that is very, very close to the join, that porthole there. So I don't know how well that'll work. But again, we can only wait and see. And again, we've got our bag of AM screws just here. So I'll get those out. And we'll get started. As I say, this is going to be quite a quick one, but we do need the nameplate that we got in issue 2, and we also need the hull section that we built in issue 2, looking just like that. Okay, so the first thing we're doing is taking the lower hull section, and just those 2 studs will line up with the 2 holes in the joining plate just there, like that. It does fit quite nicely. I mean, you can see where the join is, but it's not disastrous. For those of you who built Battleship Bismarck, you'll remember that the joins in the hull were very, very visible. So at least it's not the same on this one. So just start screwing these bits in. Again, you can use a bit of oil. I haven't found I particularly need to. As long as your screwdriver head is the right size. I don't use the free one that came with the build. I use my own, but that's entirely up to yourself. This is a PHOO screwdriver head I'm using. And again, just into this section on the bottom here, and screw it home. Just like that. You can see that looks like that. Yeah, you can see where it joins, but I like the way they've done it, so at least the kind of plating sections all match up. I think it looks quite good. I'm quite impressed, if I'm being totally honest. And again, the next section lines up just there, like that. Again, quite a nice fit, nice tight fit. And again, just screwing into these 2 holes here and here. As I say, this is a precision screwdriver kit I bought off of Amazon, because it's a lot more ergonomic, I find, to use this rather than the smaller screwdrivers that they give you with these builds, because this has the rotational bit on the bottom. Okay, so that's that in. Just one more screw to put in. Now, the one thing I have noticed is that these hull pieces, if assuming the rest of them are all going to be about the same size, then it's going to take significantly longer to build the hull than it did for Bismarck, so going forward I can see there being a hull plate in nearly every issue, because, as I say, you've got both sides to do and you're only increasing it by a couple of inches each time, but hey ho, we'll have to wait and see. So yeah, that's what that looks like. I really like that. I think that looks fantastic. And the final thing we're doing is, yet again, the joining plate, which I believe is going on this way. Now it has two joining holes at the bottom, and that's because there's a cutaway section there. So I think what we're going to end up doing is having a top piece, a bottom piece of the hull, and then another piece that runs along the keel. So it looks like there's going to be 5 pieces for every sort of expansion of the hull, which, as I say, it means it's going to take a very long time to build the hull section. And again, final 4 screws in there, there, there and there, and that sets up the joining plate for the next piece. So we'll get these screws in, just like that. Again, much the same as the Bismarck, I find these screws go in really nicely. There's no fighting it, they don't fight you. As I said, I tried the Ecto 1 build, and I did actually get sent issue 1 and 2 of the DeLorean. No. And the screws in them, oh no, I did not like at all. I found this and the Bismarck, the screws are fantastic. The holes have been well cut, and they don't seem to fight you as much. I think it's largely because there isn't as much paint in the hole. Now I know I've seen a couple of people comment in the Facebook groups saying that they've had issues with the screws in issue 3, but as I say, I didn't have any problems, and you saw me put issue 3 together first hand, so I don't know. I suppose you take it as you find it, obviously. Now, as I say, for those of you who've seen Bismarck, the way the hull's held together with Bismarck is it's a plate and it's got a metal tab that goes along it. This, having these joining sections, is more reminiscent of Eaglemoss's current release of the Enterprise D. But as I say, that's what that's looking like, ready for the next section to join. And the final, the pièce de résistance for this issue, is the nameplate, which is just going on there. It says no glue, just a simple push to fit. It's slightly raised, but it's not a big issue. Look at that. Isn't that a thing of beauty? Absolutely fantastic. And obviously the forecastle that we built in issue 1 will go along there once we get the white section. And yeah, that's what that's looking like. As I say, the keel section will screw onto these 2 holes there, and the bow section that we get in issue 5 will attach there, as I showed you previously. So, as I say, that's what we're getting in the next issue, is the starboard side of the bow. So that's all there is to do in that issue, and as always we get our wee spare screw, which I'll put back in the screw pack and keep safe. You don't need to. I have tons of spare screws from Bismarck, but as I said previously, it's now going to be a little while before issue 5 comes out, till I get my subscription delivery. So I will review this and get set on painting it and everything. As you can see, that is the Mr. Fusion Designs 3D printed version of the loading hatch. As I said, the one they send you with the kit isn't fantastic. This one, the detail's fantastic. You can't really see it because it's in the bag at the moment. Even if I kind of try and cover the light source, you still can't see it all that well. I've also got myself a can of white spray paint that I'm going to certainly use for this, and I'm probably going to use for the rest of the superstructure when it starts to come, to make it look a bit less plasticky. But anyway, that's what that looks like. I'm so impressed with that. It looks fantastic, but it does give a kind of size of how big this hull is going to be. But, so, yeah, that's that all done. So, hope you enjoyed that one. That's us all done for issue 4 of Build the Titanic. Again, that's what we're left with. It looks fantastic, it really does. I'm so impressed, really looking forward to continuing this build on. As I say, the next time we're adding the next point on, and I think we're adding some more pieces to the engine as well, looking at the pictures. But thank you again for watching. Join me shortly for my review and when I'm going to be painting up this this loading hatch for the forecastle deck to replace the standard part that came in issue 1. So, thanks for watching. If you liked that video, give me a like. Maybe consider following the channel as well. But yeah, thanks you all again, and I'll see you for the next one.